Cryptus here with just a quick video covering some of the basics for Frost Dual Wield PvP at level 90. I'll be covering some topics such as basic stats, reforging, gem priorities, and weapon enchants. If you want to skip to a particular section, I've bookmarked them for you in the video as well as down below. So let's get started. First topic to cover is basic stats. And there are 4 stats we want to focus on if you're interested in PvP. This applies to both Dual Wield and Two-Handed Death Knights. First 2 stats are hit and expertise. Your ideal goal is to reach 3% in each of these categories. So reforge your stats until you reach at least 3% minimum. The other 2 stats are PvP power and PvP resilience. I would aim for about 60% resilience and 40% power, give or take. The more the better. These goals are much easier to obtain once you get PvP weapons, so don't fret, you'll get there soon enough. Now let's look at reforging. Now that your hit and expertise are at a 3% minimum as mentioned previously, the next 3 stats to consider are mastery, crit, and haste. Let's take a quick look to see what each one does. 1. Haste. It increases your melee attack speed as well as rune cooldowns. 2. Mastery increases your spell damage. For us Dual Wield Death Knights, it affects Howling Blast and Frost Strike, which are our 2 main abilities for damage, and it affects our Frost Fever dot. 3. Critical Strike. This is a burst mechanic to allow bigger numbers, which affects both physical and spell damage. There is a variety of combinations when it comes to stat priority, but I'll be just focusing on 3 major ones. The first one is Haste, followed by Mastery, then Crit. Second, Mastery, Crit, then Haste. And the third option, Crit, Mastery, and then Haste. I tried the Haste Mastery Crit build, but I didn't like it, since the Haste wasn't really noticeable for me as Dual Wield, and I felt that I wasn't dealing as much damage as I really wanted in PvP. Many choose Mastery Crit followed by Haste for the purpose of having higher frost damage, which is fine. If anything, this is the more common choice when it comes to both two-handers and Dual Wield Frost Death Knights. I myself chose the third option of Crit, Mastery followed by Haste. It all depends on your playstyle and how you play, but for me, I like seeing big numbers and I make sure that my Mastery isn't too far behind my Crit, meaning I still stack Mastery to an extent, but I make sure that Crit is the higher of the 2 stats. So try either one of those 3 and see how you like them. If one doesn't work, try the other, but these should hopefully get you started on what to do with reforging. So let's go ahead and look at the gem priorities and what gems to use. Gemming. So for red sockets, I suggest strength and PvP power gems. Yellow sockets, main stat plus PvP power. This means if crit is your main stat, go for crit and PvP power. If mastery is a main stat, go for mastery and PvP power. But if you're concerned with survivability, it's okay to use PvP resilience and PvP power gems. I myself chose the crit and PvP power so that I can deliver the big damage. Some of you may prefer the extra survivability, so in that case, gem resilience. And blue sockets are PvP power gems, which are a good choice. Neutral sockets such as bracer sockets or bell sockets, I chose PvP power as well so that I can reach my 40% goal easier. So that's the basics for gemming, which could apply for both dual wield and two-handed if you wanted. The last section is weapon enchants for dual wielding. But this was a very interesting decision for me to make. With all the new enchants now available, I decided it was time to give up my main hand enchant of Razor Ice and go with something new. Here are the 3 main options you can choose from if you decide to go the same route as I did. 1. Windsong. It grants a buff of 1500 in either Mastery, Crit, or Haste and has a chance to proc 2 of those at once. 2. Elemental Force. It has a chance to proc a 3 to 4k damage. 3. Dancing Steel. It grants a buff of 1650 in either Strength or Agility. So, in the end, I ended up choosing the first option of Windsong, primarily because of the 3 stats that it grants are actually 3 stats I can use. Not to mention it was rather cheap, so I got to stock up on a few of them while I had the chance. I did try Elemental Force, but it just didn't seem to appeal to me as much as Windsong. I really wanted to try Dancing Steel, but it was just too expensive to try out. My offhand enchant still remains with Fallen Crusader just because it is too good to pass up and it scales very well for being a free enchant. So there you have it, just a brief little video to cover the basics for dual wield and PvP in general. I plan on doing a video to cover dual wield versus two-handed soon, but for now I hope this video helps answer some questions, and thanks for watching.